Google Pest Control Marketer. Grow your business like never before. Call 770-993-0004.
Well, hello, this is Hal Coleman, and welcome to this Thanksgiving 2020 episode of the Pest Control Marketing Live, the only live streaming internet TV show totally dedicated to helping you, the PCOs and WCOs, get more new customers, make more money, and grow your business and be more successful. And I'm here with my companion, my mentor, my business associate, and my longtime friend, Mike Stewart. How you doing, Mikey?
Doing great. You know, reflecting on 2020 and a lot of, I call it gratitude and bewilderment.
Yeah. Oh boy. A lot of that on both sides. Absolutely. You know, we talked about what we want to cover today, and it's really a lot about just being thankful and grateful for what we have. And, I want to tell you about a person that I think about a lot. And I can't remember his name. But
Okay.
when I was at the University of Georgia, growing up, I always wanted to be a veterinarian. So the first real job I got in the summer when I was 16 years old was working for a veterinarian. And then after that, I changed my mind. I didn't want to be a veterinarian because I didn't want to be inside all day. I would go into that building and, at 7:00 in the morning and come out at 6:00 at night. I didn't even know whether it was raining or not or what was going on. And I said, this is not. So I decided I was going to be a wildlife biologist. I liked the idea of doing that, and being a wildlife guy, hunter and a fisherman and all that. So that was going to be my major. And my junior year at UGA, you had to go in and really declare your major and meet with your advisor. And so this guy, I wish I could remember his name, sat me down. He said, "So what are you going to major in? What's your major?" I said, "It's wildlife biology." He said, He said, "Do you know what wildlife biologists do?" And I said, "Yeah, they go out in the tranquilizer guns and they shoot animals and do research on them and all this kind of stuff." And he's like, "No," he said, "they spend most of their time with post hole diggers, digging holes, put up fences with sling blades." This was before weed eaters. So with sling blades, chopping weeds, mowing grass, digging ditches. He said, it's not glamorous like you think it is. And he said, you'll be living in some little outpost somewhere and doing stuff. Are you prepared to just move anywhere in the country? And I said, well, no, not really. I'm a family guy. I'd like to stay at home. He said, in Georgia, he said, well, there's 340 jobs in Georgia that are held by people in wildlife biology. And he said the University of Georgia alone turns out 1,200 graduates a year with wildlife biology degrees. So I'm thinking, oh, gosh. So he looked down at my courses I'd taken so far, and I had taken a course in agriculture entomology. They call it Ag Ent. He said, "I see you had this entomology course here. Did you like that?" And I said, "Oh, I loved it. It was great." He said, "That is what you're going to major in." He said, "You need to major in entomology. You can minor in wildlife biology and get all that out of your system and all." But he said, if you'll major in entomology and get a degree in entomology, he said, you'll have a ticket to a great job for the rest of your life. He said, the pest control industry, the chemical industry, agriculture, he said, a degree in entomology would just serve you in all kinds of ways. And you'd make a good living. He said, if you get a job in wildlife biology as a state employee, you're going to only be able to go so far. So I took his advice. I majored in entomology, and that was my first exposure to the pest control industry. So when I graduated, my neighbor who worked for the Georgia Agriculture Department took me down and introduced me to Tommy Irvin, who was the Commissioner of Agriculture in Georgia at the time. And they had an opening in their entomology division for a pest control regulatory inspector. So that was where I got hired right out of college, walked right into that job, and working with the pest control industry, and been there ever since. I spent 10 years there as a regulatory agent, and I discovered what he meant about being a state employee, because after 10 years, I'd gone as far as I could go. I was at the end of my pay grade, and the next promotion meant coming into the office full time, driving down to the Atlanta Capitol Square every day for the rest of my life, and I didn't want to do that. So I was offered a job by a family-owned and operated pest control business, and I went to work for them and learned the industry. I spent 3 years doing termite inspections and running a pest control route. Then they moved me into sales, and that this company had several $1 million in revenues every year. They had a sales team, so they moved me into sales. I spent 3 years in sales, 100% commission, termite pest control sales, and then in 1990, went in business for myself as a one man with a spray can. Kept that business for 18 years. Had 10 employees, and I sold that business to become a marketing consultant and coach in the pest control industry. So that guy, back in 1972, at the University of Georgia, changed my life forever, simply by not asking me, but just telling me, you're going to major in pest control, because you'll have a great job and a great career. And I am this week especially very thankful for that guy. I'm sure he's not around anymore, but he changed my life for the better by being a good counselor. So a lot of other people to be thankful for.
Well, there's a lot of things that we should be grateful for, even though there's challenges and frustrations that go with life. I had a similar story when I was in school. I had an advisor who said a Bachelor of Arts in music and this is how old this was, a Bachelor of Arts in music and a dime will get you a cup of coffee.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah, and I thought, well, evidently you haven't heard about this Starbucks thing brewing.
Yeah.
But it was interesting. He says, no, he says, if you want to be in music, he says, you need to get a Bachelor of Science in Music Education. He says, you can be a band director or you can be a choir director at a school or a church. And he says, then you'll have a good job in music. And, that's just something that I didn't have an interest in. But so, I never finished my degree. And I'm not grateful about that. But I do know this, Steve Jobs and Bill Gates never finished their degrees either. So it's not so much getting a sheepskin on the wall is a guarantee of success, but a mindset is a guarantee of success.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I've had a lot of mentors over the years that were a whole lot more influential than my college advisor was. I did take his advice and I was going to get a degree in piano, and I got a degree in music education. And I'll never forget my partner at the time. You know him very well, Danny Jones.
Yeah,
he was a student teacher, and we were roommates. And he came home every day and he says, "I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to do this. I'm nothing but a glorified babysitter."
I cannot see Danny being a teacher.
He didn't make it, and so I got out of that program, and then, for one reason or another, being a dumb kid. I'll tell the quick story. We were in a band together, and they were older than me, and they had all graduated and gotten their degrees. And I lacked piano lessons in Spanish for a degree in piano. That's all I lacked, is 2/4 of piano and 1/4 of Spanish. And I would have a degree hanging on the wall in piano, which would do nothing for my real business. So,
no, that degree you've got hanging behind you over there, those 4 guys from Liverpool, probably the best education you ever had.
Oh, they were my teachers, and my diploma is that gold record behind me. So
yeah, there you go.
I do not, I'm not critical of, and I'm not ungrateful for the education system, but I am. I think the gratitude I have is that the mentors I met, like, somebody you and I are both grateful for, Larry Latimer and Tom Long brought us together. And over 40 years ago that they introduced us to one another to do music, to do jingles, to do advertising. And so, I'm very grateful to Larry and Tom to bringing us together, and then that formula. And I'll tell you something, I'm grateful for you that you taught me, Hal. I remember that, we started our business, our recording studio that you recorded in over 40 years ago. I think you recorded in all my studios. I had an 8-track studio in Doraville, and then we moved over into what part of town is that? I guess Norcross. Yeah, Norcross, Georgia.
I bet I can still recall the names of all of them. I bet I can still recall the names of all of them. Demo House of Atlanta was the first one. The Sound Shop.
That was the second one, and the only one. Those are the only 2.
Oh, Chuck.
But the Sound Shop was in business until 1999, and it was a great years of experience. I'm grateful for all the experience I got at that. I'm grateful for all I've learned in music and advertising, and the people that we met through the years. And sadly, some of them are gone. I mean, I miss Larry because he was just so full of wisdom and was always encouraging and said things that other people did. He never said, "Oh, you can't do it." He said, "If you want to do it, these are the things you need to do."
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, lots of times our parents can be a negative influence. My mother would say, "You just need to get a job."
Yeah.
And I go, "Mom, there's no job that's going to pay me what I'm making now." "Well, you just need to stop spending money."
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
We love our parents, but sometimes, there's a great book out there, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which kind of addresses that. You either a rich dad talks about building a business and building and having the right mindset and attitude to build something that lasts and grows. And unfortunately, sometimes the poor dad is a guy, like you said, if you had taken that education and become the wildlife guy, there would have been a limit to the amount of money you could have made, and you would have never created more than you have. So.
Well, I just have that entrepreneurial gene too. Just always thinking that there would be a better way, and I could figure it out. But yeah, I'm just very grateful for what you've been a big mentor to me through the years. I mean, you and I talked about it the other day. You changed my life really, because I wouldn't be here where I am now on the internet doing a podcast and doing videos and having a coaching business and everything I have, if it hadn't have been for you standing over me with a bullwhip, saying, "You need to do this. You need to do it." Why? Don't ask me why. Just do it. Trust me, just do it. So I would do it. I still do, People, I'll say, "Well, Mike told me to do this. Why does he want you?" I say, "I don't know. He didn't tell me why. He just said to do it."
Well, I know with our coaching clients and with folks that we work with, I like to explain why we're doing things. With you, I figure you're friends enough that you'll trust me. And, and that's one of the things about business is if you don't build that trust level at every point of contact, the internet, your employees on the phone. I mean, you've got to build the lessons here is you've got to build that trust factor to where people feel like, I'm getting a great job. I got the right person to do it. I'm more importantly, I trust that they're not being unfair to me, overcharging me, and they're taking care of my problem. And that is the thing I'm thankful for. I always try to make sure that you and I and everything I do, we bring value to people. And I'm thankful that there's people that are out there that, that work with us, because to me, this is retirement. If I love doing it, I don't think about it as being work.
Yeah.
And I just I know that what we wanted to do today was just kind of reminisce about our past. I was going to mention one little thing here that kind of is relevant to what people need to do. I remember you were the guy that said, Mike, you need to start networking. And I remember vividly, what does that mean? What does networking mean? And you said, I'll never forget it. I've got a little breakfast meeting at my friend's place. And I said, well, what friend is that? It was the name of the restaurant that you guys used to meet.
They're still in business, and they still have groups that meet there.
I'll be good. Well, golly, I can't even remember how long ago that was. But I remember you said, well, come over and be my guest and stand up in front of the people and tell them what you do and hand out your business cards. And that changed my life. That helped me. At the time, it was 20 years ago. It was 1999. I was getting out of the studio business because I saw the writing on the wall that I needed to focus on the internet. I've been doing the internet since 99.
Ever since Al Gore invented it.
Ever since he invented it, I embraced it, and I'll never forget. I remember I had a client for years, Stablemates, a horse farm there in Roswell. I did work with them for years, and I met them at that very meeting. I said, Hal, I'm not going to come back to this meeting because it's 40 miles away. I'm going to find a meeting near my house, and I started going to. In fact, to this day, I go to networking meetings. There's a group called, and I'll put a link on the website. Networking International does virtual Zoom meetings, just like the meeting we did at my friend's place. And I've built business relationships through networking online, through Zoom. So I'm very grateful for all the mentors and all the aha moments that people have just graciously given me. And I think that's what everybody here today should do and be aware of. I guess what we could do is, if you got a couple other things you want to talk about that you're grateful for, because we're time stamping this. This is coming into Thanksgiving 2020. For me, 2020 has been a year of bewilderment. I came into January thinking, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And everything I thought I was going to do was thrown to the wind. Quite literally in March, I'm grateful that the tornado passed 5 miles away from my house instead of going right through my house. Yeah. A lot of people here in Nashville in March were devastated by the tornado, and then a week later, the country's locked down with COVID. So we came into this 2020 with a lot of expectations, and the world was turned upside down. And I remember how scary it was. And I'll tell you something right now. I'm very grateful that we were working with an essential business. Who would have thought? I mean, thank goodness we're not the movie theater marketing live.
We have a bar,
or the restaurant and bar business. I mean, I've got friends in the music business that they don't know what to do, and so I think
who would ever think there would have been a time when you were required to wear a mask to go into a bank?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the bewilderment of the times we're in, and the optimism is a lot of things that we don't like have been a result of this, but then there's a lot of things that I think that the world has learned. I mean, I knew about Zoom 10 years ago. And then I have more and more people who are just struggling, learning how to use a webcam and use Zoom. And it's a little bit comical, but it's also now it's something I can do to help my fellow man because, I go to this networking meeting and people can't figure out how to turn their microphone on. They can't figure out how to share their screen, and it's amazing to me that these are technologies that the internet world has taken for granted for years. And now the whole world has to learn how to do it. And I'll tell you what we're doing right now is a direct result of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Live streaming, because 2 or 3 years ago, you said, Mike, I want to be Mr. Offline and Mr. Online.
There we are.
I said, Hal, what do you mean by that? And he says, well, I want to do an internet marketing pest control TV show online or something. And I said, Hal, there really isn't the technology other than Zoom, and it's really clunky and it's hard and it's got all these challenges. And I thought, to make this work is just not going to be fun. And because of being, confined to home, rather than sit in the corner and watch television, I was grateful I got on my computer and started figuring out things. I found this technology here, StreamYard, that we're using right now. And it's amazing how this pandemic has been the catalyst for a lot of positive things. I think a lot of people are realizing that they can work from home, that they can succeed from home, they can communicate from home. And the online business, streaming, Amazon, my wife has an eBay store. Her eBay store is probably 3 times what it was pre-pandemic. So even though there's a lot of areas that are suffering, and we got to really help those people that are suffering, there are a lot of people that are having the biggest, opportunities they ever had. In fact, pest control, I was scared in March, like what's going to happen? And I would say the majority, if not all of our people that we have inside knowledge on, have people are home finding bugs and they don't want them.
Oh, we had a guest on a few weeks ago, our client Daniel Hickey from Suncoast, Australia, and he said that when and they're having about the same problems there that we are here, in America with COVID. But he said when COVID started, he had 4 employees, and now he's got 12. And it's just, like you say, people are home and discovering that they got bugs. But the pest control industry, I'm so thankful I'm a part of it, because it's rocking and rolling, and people have termites in the house. They got to get them out of there. And it doesn't matter what the economy is. And so, yeah. But anyway, something else I'm thankful for is that really the good Lord gave me the talent and the mindset to write this book, which is changing the way a lot of people market their pest control business. I have testimonials from people who say, Hal, I downloaded your book and I've already implemented 6 things in the past week, and I'm already making more money. This book is awesome. Bottom line, how to grow a pest control business. And I'm still giving that book away free right now. All you got to do is go to the address you see there right underneath Mike and I, howtogrowapestcontrolbusiness.com. You can download that book free. And if you have any questions about anything in the book, you can certainly contact me. And there's just some great stuff in there. And that's been that book has been more successful than I ever thought. I mean, people just see me all the time and contact me and say, yeah, I read your book, man. I want to talk to you. So go get it, folks. It's free. And if you don't like it, I'll give you back every penny you spent for it. Well, the ultimate guarantee.
Hal, I mean, the thing that the theme of today is gratitude and history of reflecting on things that we're grateful for, and like you and I are doing what we love, and of course, to have a better retirement or golden years. Do you want to just, sit around and do nothing, or do you want to do something that makes a difference? And so I'm grateful that we can make a difference in people's businesses. And one of the ways Zig Ziglar said years ago, if you want to get what you want, get people what they want. And, the networking group BNI says, givers get. That's one of their slogans. When you give, it's the law, or what you call it, a reciprocity, and
Reciprocity, yeah.
and so that's why we give the book away. That's why we do the podcast. That's why we do the live stream, and that's why we give away a free hour. If you want to ever have a free hour and discuss your business with Hal, he's at pestcontrolmarketer.com, and his number is 770-993-0004. And won't you, remind people what you'll do if they call you?
Well, if they want to spend an hour, I do a lot of prep for that hour, because I send them a questionnaire, about a dozen questions about your business, your marketing, your advertising, your history, your roadblocks, all of these questions where you have to come up with some pretty good answers. And then you return that to me, email it back to me. And then I go over it and I make notes, and I get I look for the low hanging fruit, the areas where you really are maybe missing the boat on some fast, easy business. And we identify those. And then, so when we spend our hour together, I don't have to spend the hour asking you all these questions. I already know the answers to them. And I've done some homework on it, and you'll come away from that hour. I've never had anybody yet that said they didn't come away from that hour energized and more focused and excited to go out and make some quick changes to their marketing strategies. And it doesn't cost you anything, and there's zero obligation for that. So if you want to take me up on it, but only if you're serious, about growing your business, because if you're just a curiosity seeker and you're going to do it your way no matter what, and then nobody could ever change your mind, then, don't waste your time calling me, because we wouldn't have a good time on the call, I'll assure you. But if you're serious about growing your business and you realize that there may be a better way, and you would like to take advantage of what I can do for you, by all means. Also, Mike, something else that we're giving away free is a free month in our new coaching program, Pest Control Marketing Gold, that we're about ready for our big official launch. But it's really like a restaurant. They don't do their official launch till they've been serving food for 2 or 3 months. So you can come eat in the restaurant now. You can join Pest Control Marketing Gold right now, and you go to the website there, check it out. Right now, we're offering you 1 month free. And,
well, now, Hal, let me make clarity. To get the free month, they have to download your book first. If they go to Pest Control Marketing Gold, it's not free for the first month.
That's right. It is a part of the book giveaway. Thank you for clarifying that. Yeah,
well, it's no problem. And I'll take over here. Let's talk about these things, and then I think we're going to wind it up. Hey, it's been a half an hour, and all I can say is I'm grateful for all of our customers. I'm grateful for all of our families, and Hal, I'm grateful for you. And I'm excited to have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I wish that for everyone else. So, number one, How to Grow a Pest Control Business. Absolutely free, a wonderful book. It'll help your business. If you go there, you will get a one-time opportunity to join our which hasn't officially launched. Like Hal said, it's the restaurant serving food to make sure we get all the bugs and make sure everything works for you. And that new coaching program, group coaching program, is called Pest Control Marketing Gold. So you can go get the book, instantly join that, and get a month free. And there's something even more enticing about that. We have last year we had a live event called Next Level PCO Marketing in Atlanta.
I think your
third one that I've done.
My 4th year of doing this. Your 3rd one of doing it with me.
Right. Well, obviously, because of the crazy pandemic, we're not going to do it in Atlanta. But you know what? You don't even have to leave the convenience of your home. One of the things that I got very experienced with this year was I was in charge of setting up virtual seminars using the technologies like we're using here today. So basically, you can get access to the Next Level PCO Marketing, and it's going to be February 13th, 2021, the day before Thanksgiving, the weekend after the Super Bowl here in America. A one-day event, me and Hal, and I think, Hal, you got all the information there on the website.
I think I do. You might need to check it out and see if.
Well, by the time people go to it, right after this podcast, I'm going to make sure and test all that, and it will be available for $97. But here's what I'm going to tell you right now: if you join Pest Control Marketing Gold, you get to go to the Next Level PCO Marketing absolutely free. So those are the things that
doing that one free too. That's really heaping on the value.
Well, there you go. You know, one of the most popular words in the world is free.
That's
People,
right.
you know, we were going to name our band Free Beer. And can you imagine the marquee? Tonight only, free beer.
Oh, you know, I was in a band back in the early 80s, and we did name our band Free Lobster Tails. And the guy, the NCO club said, "You want me to put Free Lobster Tails Friday and Saturday night?" We went in and we told him. He said, "Do y'all have a following?" I said, "Oh man, we'll pack this place." He said, "You'll pack it?" I said, "Yeah, we will pack the place. I promise you, they'll be lined up to get in here." He said, "Man, that sounds good. You know, what's the name of y'all's band?" I said, "Free Lobster Tails." He thought about it. He said, "You want me to put that on the marquee, Free Lobster Tails Friday?" And I said, "We'll pack the place. We'll pack the place."
Yeah, and you'll start a riot. Oh, Lordy. Well, Hal, with all that being said, I think that we can just give our final gratitude thought, and we'll call it a day. And thanks, folks, for listening to the pestcontrolmarketing.live video show, live stream. And of course, for those of you that listen to it in Apple, Spotify, Alexa, Amazon, all those places that the podcast goes, you know, occasionally we try to remember to let you know what you're seeing. You know, check out pestcontrolmarketing.live, and you can watch the show and see what me and Hal look like and see our worlds. But you go with your first piece of gratitude, Hal.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm thankful for as far as keeping it in the context of what we're doing here, for all of my clients, present and past, who have paid me their hard-earned money to help them grow their business and get it on the faster growth track and build that solid, growing, thriving business that's going to create a great future in retirement for them. So I don't take that lightly. I'm thankful for all of them, past and present, my clients. And above and beyond that, I'm thankful for my family, my friends, my health, my abilities, and you know, I thank God for this good life that He's given me, and I try to do my best to do it right and according to His will, and that's about it for me.
Oh, I think it's well said, and I echo those sentiments exactly. I feel the same way. I'm grateful for our customers. I'm grateful for our life. I'm grateful for music. I'm grateful for especially my family, my grandkids. I'm grateful that, you know, I still have an opportunity to hopefully make a difference in people's lives. You know, I had a guy the other day say, you know, what is your why? You know, and, you know, that's a personal thing, you know, but you need to know your why. Mm-hmm. And so I have a why, and I'm very grateful for the one that keeps me going every day. And that's why I hope that we can continue doing what we're doing to 2020 and beyond. And I think this is a good place to say goodbye, so long, and we'll see you after the holidays.
At the next episode of pestcontrolmarketing.live. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Hal Coleman has been active in the pest control industry for over 40 years, including owning and operating his own successful pest control business for 18 years. He now devotes his time to helping other PCOs and other WCOs double, triple, and even quadruple their businesses faster than they ever imagined. Be sure to check out his website, pestcontrolmarketer.com. For more information about Hal's coaching program, you can reach him at 770 888-993-0004 or email him hal@halcoleman.com. Mike Stewart is known as the Internet Audio and Video Guy. Since the birth of the Internet, Mike has been showing small business owners how to get more new customers, increase their sales, and grow their businesses online using audio and video, now with iPhones and Android phones. For more information about Mike's coaching program and his online training courses, visit MikeStewartCoaching.com or email him mike@internetaudioguide.com.
Google Pest Control, marketer, grow your business like never before. Call 770-993-0004.